Hello, and welcome to another edition of Selling Life and Annuities. I'm Tim Luby. I'm the National Sales Director for Annuities here at Rd Marketing. And with me today is my good friend and colleague, Steve Allison. He's our retirement income specialist on the Annuity Team. And today our topic is the 5 strategies to increase your annuity sales. So Steve, let's get into this. We've got 5 strategies for increasing annuity sales.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Well, I think the first one would be, it's pretty important, is that you need to stay on top of the new different products and different features that come out with these different annuities. A lot of carriers come out with new products all the time that can, fit a certain need that your client may have. So it's really important to be able to know what's available out there for your clients, so that you, don't miss out on opportunities that you may come across.
Right. I agree with that, and that's so important. And it's kind of interesting because, we work with all kinds of agents that sell annuities all the time and are really fairly expert at it, as well as agents that are newer to it and, sort of do it on the side. But with all of them, are understanding and staying up on what the products and features, particularly the ones that they're tuning into right now, is critical.
Sure.
And I'm often alarmed or impressed at how some of our most top producers that really know the stuff very well are staying tuned in and are open to the newest ideas of what's going on in the market.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's a great point, staying up to speed. What else do we have?
Well, I think one thing that can really ruin somebody's sales is just not being mindful of their language and the words that they're using. Some of the best annuities, advisors that sell annuities, that do the best are really good with their language and their wording. They're more encouraging than discouraging on certain types of words they can use. They use probably less jargon. Our clients are really counting on us to, kind of put things in layman's terms for them and make it easier for them to understand how this annuity will work for them or how it benefits them.
Yeah, it's an excellent point, picking your words. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and jargon is an important one. We can all, in this industry, sort of be victim to some degree of speaking in our language. And in some ways, maybe that helps establish us as the expert, because we know things that they don't know. But really, it's much better to put it in layman's terms to help them understand it in ways in ways and with language and words that they can understand.
Yep.
And there's different words. A power word for me has always been guarantees, but from what I understand, consumers really like the idea of protection.
Yes.
More than guarantees. So there's all different kinds of nuances. I also understand there's information about, even with annuities, that people can be very uncomfortable when they start to consider their own mortality. Which comes up in the conversation, certainly about life insurance, but even about annuities, about outliving your assets or needing to cover for as long as you live. And again, you're introducing that idea that they're not immortal. And again, so the words you pick can be very important.
Yeah. Well, thinking about the mortality one, it kind of leads into our next one really is as an agent, you kind of want to listen to the client's goals or needs or what they are most worried about. It can be how they pass the money on to their beneficiaries, or it could be income, or it could be just simply protection of their principal, different things. So making sure you're really paying attention, asking the questions. That one appointment probably should be more question asking and listening than anything else.
I couldn't agree with you more. The key word, I think, the key thing that you said was listen. And they always say, we have one mouth and 2 ears. We should do more listening than we do talking. And that is so critical. And the big thing is, don't just hear them and have the noise, but pay attention to what they're saying and respond. Make sure that you are keeping what they're telling you, what's important to them, at the forefront of your mind as you're coming up with a recommendation or a solution that fits them well.
Yep.
I think one of the things I heard was the idea that you're sort of think of yourself as a matchmaker to a degree. You listen to them and find out what their objectives are, and then try to match the product that's going to help them with those objectives, meet those objectives, as opposed to just pushing product and having a preconceived notion about what you think would work best for them. Listening is critical. So what else do we have? What else is important as it relates to strategies to increase sales?
Yeah, most of the time you want to act basically as a fiduciary to an extent. You want to be able to act in the best interest of your client, and making sure that you're providing the best solution for them rather than maybe the product that gives you maybe the most commission. And then in including in that, too, just be educating them on that instead of their solutions and their options other than selling them on it.
Absolutely, yes. We'd like to think that everybody would have their client's best interest at heart. And I think that's important is what's important is that you have the client's best interest at heart, but that they understand it. That they have a level of trust in you. Many clients don't want to know the inside out, upside down about how annuities and different products or any kind of solution that they may buy actually works. But they want to know that you've got their best interest at heart. They want to be able to place their trust in you and that you know them and that you're recommending the right solution for them for all the right reasons.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's critically important.
Sure.
What else rounds out our top 5 strategies for increasing annuity sales?
But it kind of comes with the idea, a lot of retirees are becoming more and more savvy with the internet, and so trying out social media, seeing about, you may have your own personal Facebook and LinkedIn page, but maybe create a business one. Share articles or videos that you may find either on Facebook or maybe LinkedIn. Those are ways to be able to get out more information that your clients may stumble across, and then in turn end up asking you questions about, which is a great way of starting conversations.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. The annuities really are for retirement, and so we're talking about retirement age people, Medicare age people, people in their upper 50s and 60s. But that area, that is the generation or the demographic that's growing most rapidly in terms of their embracing of social media.
Yeah.
Facebook, years ago was for kids and things like that, and now I think it's baby boomers that predominantly, the predominant group that's on Facebook now. So yeah, social media is really important. Well, we're kind of winding down here with time for today's session, but for the benefit of those watching this video, if we've piqued your interest with some ways and you want to contact Steve or I to get more information about how we can help you increase your annuity sales and what's most important for your annuities, for your clients about annuities, you can contact me. My email address is timl@gordonmarketing.com, or you can reach me directly at 330-283-6140. And Steve, if they want to reach you, your contact information?
Yeah, I'm at extension 140. Email sallison@gordonmarketing.com.
Great. And one last thing, if you would please, if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell below so that you'll get all of our Selling Life and Annuity content as it comes out. And with that, we'd love it if you could like, comment, and share. And happy selling.